Hey everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the origin of Atlantis. Atlantis was a name that was given to me by somebody that I cared about a long time ago, and it was a weird relationship that kind of uh, set me on this journey that is pretty unforgettable. Uh, a lot of people that know me on a personal level know about this relationship, and I think a lot of people would be seriously reluctant to hear any more about this relationship, considering but for now, I'm going to tell you just a little bit of snippets of what happened. Um, I was with somebody that was it was, it was a very deep relationship right off the bat for me. When I met her, she was everything that I wanted, you know. And at the time, I thought I knew what I wanted. But long story short, she was driving around with me one day, and she said, "You know, you're a really great guy. You're kind of like that city, uh, Atlantis, that is just waiting to be discovered." So years later, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be discovered. And a little bit more backstory. I came back from college. I graduated. I came back to Canton, Ohio with $3 in my bank account. Didn't have anything. Obviously, had to go back to my mother's house. It was kind of humiliating and embarrassing. But uh, I got a job, and I I couldn't stand it. I worked so hard for my degree and got to the point where I felt like I was successful, and I ended up right back home working a job that I didn't like. So after that, I kind of resorted to drinking because I was depressed on it, and I started hating everything. I started resenting myself and everything. It was a hard downward spiral for a long time. After a hard night at work, uh, I sat in my car and I kind of had a break. It was real bad. It was hard to move because of the drinking. I didn't want to further myself down this spiral, uh, but I didn't really want to do anything that had to do with my current lifestyle. So I knew I had to make a decision, and it was hard. Uh, I sat in that car for a long time, and I couldn't think. You know, the only thing I could think of was just go across the parking lot and start drinking, because that's the same thing you did the night before and the night before that. So it was kind of like my habit, and it was, you know, my routine. But I knew I had to break it. So after a while, I decided I just would start driving. And I knew I wasn't going to any kind of bar. I didn't want to do that. So I ended up at the grocery store, and they had the craft section, and I was just walking around aimlessly. I couldn't find really any kind of direction. My direction was completely, it wasn't found. I needed to find it. And the only thing that I could think of was to buy all the paint that they had there. And the paint was like 97 cents. And I remember just picking up a cheap canvas, and I went home, I got the bag out, all the paint, and I just started painting whatever. I remembered how good it was to draw graffiti, you know, when I was in high school, and I did a decent amount of vandalism around Canton and everything. And I just wanted to go back there because that's where I felt calm, you know. there wasn't anything that I had to worry about at that present moment through painting. And when I woke up the next day, I needed that feeling again because it was stability. Um, I went to work and I came back home and I couldn't wait the entire day. I just couldn't wait till everybody went to bed and I could paint again because it was serenity, you know? And after a while, I started painting more graffiti on canvas, portraits and landscapes. Um, a while went by, and I would say like almost a full year. I would paint every single night, and I looked forward to it. I had piles and piles of canvases, and I needed to plan, and it gave me a reason to set goals and get back into a social network that I could be comfortable with myself again. Um, it gave me my center and an origin and ultimately my definition of what I wanted to be defined by. Uh, I came to the realization that there's nothing more calming than figuring out what you're here for. It's like people that are lawyers and they're doctors, whatever profession they're in, that they really love their job overall. They know why they're here, you know? And when I started painting, I figured out that's why I was here. And everything else just disappeared. Um, and I started noticing that whenever I would meet people, if I was out with other people, they would introduce me to people that I'd never met. Within 5 minutes, I was talking about art, and they were talking about art with me. And it was this energy that was, built upon every introduction. And it just became so prevalent in my life that I let it engulf everything that I was depressed about. I'm lucky to have it. And I think that if I didn't have it, I would fall apart. And it would take me a long time to get back together. And I want to touch a little bit on what art makes me do as far as making better decisions. I know a lot of people, in sports and stuff like that, they have to practice so hard every single day to be better than the next person. And I'm not really about competition or anything like that, but I understand why those people need to practice. It's not, it gets to a center for them that whenever they're on the field or wherever they're doing their sport or their craft, that's where they're the most free, because they only need to concentrate on that craft or that sport or practicing to be better than they were the day before. And that's what art did for me. It established a reputation for me. And I decided to be better of a person because of it. I decided to be better towards people because of the reputation after a while that I had established. Making better decisions about, my health and stuff like that. It just kept me driving towards the goal of being a better person. And it's crazy where I'm at now because it just all started from one night. I decided that I didn't want to drink. I had been done with that lifestyle, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't had any kind of alcohol since, but it definitely it set the origin of where I needed to be. It gave me, art did. It gave me a reason to be here. And it was probably the best decision, going to that Walmart and buying 97-cent paint and giving myself a reason to be here. So if people treat me terrible because of art, it's a reason for me to look at them, and I'm stronger because of the art, because I know they can't take what I have away from me. So it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. I I've just grown to the point where what they do and what they say against me doesn't really matter, because in fact, nowadays I think I welcome a certain amount of adversity, because I know that it's kind of like breaking a bone. When you heal from that, you're stronger than you were before. The bone is stronger, you know. So I want people to doubt me, but I also want people to help me and see and understand that I have a goal to accomplish. And right now, the goal is to make this my primary job, to paint for people, commissions for myself, gallery work, branching out and seeing how far I can do this, how far I can take it, how far I can take the people that are willing to support me. You know, that's my incentive that I'm offering to people. Like, people will help me. It's not going to be forgotten by any stretch of the imagination. And I try to make everyone that helps me understand that, because I have to apply that incentive to build the relationship with people so they know what they're supporting me for. And I know that one day that I'll be discovered just like the lost city. And when that happens, everyone that helped me is going to get help in some way. That's my guarantee. I just want to thank everybody for listening. If you listened the whole time, I will be uploading more videos soon. The prints are in the works. I should be receiving them sometime next week. And all of the people that shared my album on Facebook is, of course, getting a free print. And there will be different incentives in the future like that. You know, I love giving away free stuff. It makes everybody kind of shake their heads sometimes, because it's not a really viable way to do business and keep business. But my motives are more for establishing relationships with people and not, you know, the monetary value. The money will come eventually. I don't care about that. My main goal right now is to hone my skills and get the word out and let everybody know what I'm here to do. And yeah, I just want everyone to know that. Thank you. Have a good day. And if you want, you can look forward to seeing and hearing more of what I have to say in the future.